Hello YouTube land, welcome back to another video from your favourite Rust Gardener. So this video is about how to use raised planters. So we'll just get straight into it. There's a lot about placement of planters in this video. So notice there's a high side and a low side of the planter. So using a raised planter, you want to be able to stand on something nice. Like, you can't use a raised planter from the ground. I mean, maybe you can, but I don't recommend that. So, back in the day, the option was to use a planter box, in which case you want to be standing on the high side towards the raised planter box. That will allow you to see inside the planter box better. So you can't stand too close as well, otherwise you're not on the bump. So stand back a bit, get a good view. Now the other side is the low side. So that's not very fun to stand on the low side. So yeah, you could use a planter box to give you a good height to use the raised planter. And just make sure you're placing it the correct direction. Now with this one, this is an example of an incorrectly placed raised planter. So it's not so you want it rotated so you can see down the line of the planter box. Whereas if this is the case here, we can't see down the line, and we end up jumping and going, is that planted at the back, and etc. Right? So that's even with the raised side. So you need to be placing the raised side of the planter box towards the planter box you want to look into, and rotate the top one in a direction that's easy to see into. Like this one is not easy, as you can tell. Underneath placement is ideally you want to look down the line of the planter box the same. This is obviously okay because you can see it anyway, but yeah. And here's another example of an incorrectly placed one. This is correctly placed at the top, but you're standing on the low side. But incorrect on the low side, and then it just incomplete. You're having a bad day here. This is not a good scenario. So the other things you might be using is a small box. So again, incorrectly placed raised planter box. Not really good. A correctly placed raised planter box is, you can see really well. So the other thing I'm noting here is the storage adapter. Yeah, that gives you a bit extra height. You can see that's even better than the planter box itself. But yeah, small box, yeah, it's okay. Large box, now this is my style, what I would commonly use. You can also use a storage adapter and get a bit more height, but it's not necessary really. You see me going up a bit. Yeah, so I prefer large boxes. Again, on this side, an incorrectly placed raised planter. It's doable. You know, down here, like, okay, you can't see the soil at all. You can't see how much water. Well, you obviously see how much water is in it, but yeah, this you can actually see the colour of the soil up this one with the large box. So this is doable, but this is better. Correctly placed as opposed to incorrectly placed. So that's just a rotation issue I'm talking about here. Another thing you might run into is mixing tables. You might want to put a mixing table next to your planter boxes. Yeah, obviously this gives you extra height, but we do then come into issues with using the lower planter box. Really can't get in there. Where large box I find is really good, but mixing table is it's just, well, you can, but I don't recommend it. It's a bit too high for the lower ones. You have the top ones, it's fine. But the lower ones, maybe you can. Yeah, you can place them, but yeah, you can if you want, but I don't recommend that. So the next thing you might run into is deployables. So you're standing on a raised side of the planter box, and you're like, yeah, that's great. You want a bit more height. Maybe you stand on your heater. That's okay, but if I let go of W, you fall off. So yeah, that's something to think about. Fall off the heaters. So another deployable is the, what is this called? I don't use it. Siren lights. So this you can just stand on it without pressing any keys. You don't have to walk forward or anything. You can stand on it. So that's convenient. But at the same time, you don't really want to have to jump to look into your boxes. Yeah, I did just do a jump. It's done it automatically here. But it's up to you guys. I'm just showing you in this video. I'd prefer large boxes. Yeah, so you can jump on heaters to look up, which is great. And siren lights, and you can put them all the way along. Glitching out here. And you can just jump up all day in your farm. But yeah, and the other option is a low wall. In some farm designs, you might have a low wall, which will allow you to access all of the boxes, down the bottom and up the top. The low wall is pretty good for accessing a 2x3 area with a low wall. That's another example. What's this called again? The industrial lights. I haven't actually played Rust for a month, but anyway, forgetting the names of things. Again, same as heaters. You got to hold W to be on top of them. A lot cheaper than a heater, a lot cheaper than a siren light. 30 metal fragments as opposed to 120, and all 200 for a heater. Obviously a heater you need in your farm. Yeah, but if you want to just jump up, maybe a siren. What's talking about? Industrial light might be something you might like. Up to you. Now, in my last video, prior video, I had a comment saying putting planters on ramps. So I can't find a way to put a large planter on a ramp. Apparently, if you upgrade to sheet metal, it's possible, but I literally haven't found a way to clip it in. Like it just doesn't allow me to place it for some reason. I have seen it in another video where someone placed a planter. If you just start removing things, it just still doesn't like a large planter box. I'm not quite sure why, but anyway, we'll continue. This isn't something I recommend, but it's something I heard about. I think it is completely unnecessary waste of upkeep to be putting a floor and a raised thing and a ramp, I'm saying. So what we can use on this that I've noticed is small planter boxes. So if we put down small planter boxes, should be able to get 3 on there. And then we just want to show you how it works. You can plant them. Probably want to be standing on a planter, so we'll do a correct rotation planter as I've showed you before. Face the high side towards the thing you want to be getting a boost towards. Right, so you've got the high side there, and yeah, we can see inside these planters. That's fair enough, fair enough. But how about a low wall? Yeah, so a low wall or a ramp. Up to you. I'm just showing you the options. I'm not a fan of small planter boxes. But up to you, I guess. So again, the reason for upgrading to sheet metal is you can't put the box in the center. So if you put one there, then we go, oh no, we can't place another one, we can only place 2. So that's why here, that if you upgrade to sheet metal, you potentially can place 3 if they're all placed correctly. But yeah, I don't recommend that, because then you're worrying about different water levels compared to the square, the large planter boxes. Yep, don't recommend. Let's move on. So this one here is an example of a correctly placed one. So this is what we're used to now. You've got a large box, correctly placed planter box. So you can see down the line of the planter box. Now the corner one. We want it to be placed with the high side on the back left corner, because then as you can see, we can see all the plants. Right? This one over here is an example of an incorrectly placed corner. So we can see that one, we can see, yeah. Oh, no, we can't see this one behind there. So this is the incorrect example. We can actually go through the options, so we can rotate the high side over here. And then go, yeah, we can see from here, right? You can make do with what I call as an incorrectly placed large planter box. But yeah, this one over here is just much better. You can see the back plant. You can see all of them. You go over here and run into the corner. Just running into the corner here. And go. Oh, actually, I can see a speck of blue on each of these plants here. This one and the back one. Yeah, you can make do by moving to the side, but I'm just saying this is the best option here. What was the other rotation? Was with the back to the back right corner, and we can see that, we can't see this one. But again, we can move and make do. But I prefer to place it correctly first time. You can see with the high side, the back at the back left, it works well. We can do some testing on the bottom corners. So this one's towards me. If I do the same as the top. Yeah, it works out fine. You can see all of them. planting with the raised planters. Let's talk about that for a moment. So once you have your 3G, 3Y plant, to plant your 2x3 of the raised planters, you always want to start with the back ones that you can't reach, and go all the way around, planting the back ones. And then once you have planted all the back ones, to the bottom as well. Again, mentioned in the last video, this back corner one you don't want to be too close, otherwise you can't see it, and you don't want to be too far, otherwise you can't place it. So somewhere between there for that back corner one. You want to place all those and then plant the front ones, because what's going to happen is the rear ones are going to get ripe first, and then the front ones are going to get ripe, and then because you're going to walk up to it and go, ah, the front one is ripe, and that way you know that the rest of them are ripe as well. How handy is that? Very handy. I want to talk about sprinklers for a moment. So in a 2x3 with raised planters and large boxes, we have a heater, and we have 2 lights, and we have sprinklers. Now, how do we water 10 planters? So one sprinkler covers 4 planter boxes. So we have 10, therefore we would need 3 sprinklers. So we don't put sprinklers over here, because that's just going to get the top ones here. You know, it's not going to get any underneath. We don't want to put any sprinklers underneath and then some on top and then some on... No. All you want to do is find this middle of this square here. So I found the middle's this bit here, and then I move down a little bit, place it, and just bump them together. Alright, so then you got 4 sprinklers. Well, 3 sprinklers. And that's going to cover all this 2x3 area of watering. Nothing complicated, just all in the one place. Very simple. 2 lights, a heater, 3 sprinklers, 2x3 is set up. Let's just jump over to my setup one that I set up earlier. And by now we should be getting crossbreeding. So actually, if you look at this right now, see they're all at 100%, this one's at 80%, it's at 100%. If I go to the back ones that were placed first, they're going to be mature first. Where all the ones at the front were placed last, they're going to come mature last. See, the ones at the back here mature, but you find that none of the front ones, well, here's one. There's one, so they're all starting to come mature now. Yep, all the whole planter box. And then when the whole row at the front and all the front ones are mature, you can pick them. So if you go here, it's all mature. This one waiting on that corner one. Getting glitchy here. Mature, waiting on a crossbreeding here. And when they're all done, just one more. Corner one's done now. So I like to wait till they're all done. And then you can hold E and clone all. Hold E, clone all. Also you can hold right mouse button and then hold E and clone all. So, and by checking all the front clones, find that we didn't miss anything. And that's the correct way to use raised planters. Always remember to clone all. Alright, so last bit of this video is showing my actual setup that I normally would use. Is I normally do 15 planters in a 3x3. Large boxes in the middle. Oh look, we've got a glitchy planter box in the centre here. I'll remove it. Okay. The reason why you cannot put an extra planter box in the middle, you wouldn't want to for one, because you won't be able to see into some of the planter boxes and it'll be annoying. Which we just discussed at the start of this video. On the other hand, for sprinklers, if you put down the 16th planter, none of them get water. Literally breaks the system. Apparently, water divided by 16 does not work. So I wanted to show you this properly set up. So if I get rid of these, I do want to tell you about the heaters in this setup. See, look, I've done this incorrectly now. So if you say you pick this one, you can still reach the furthest one in the squares. So you pick this one, right? And we messed up. We can still jump up to get that. Yep, so we're stuck up here. And we can still save the day. As for the lowered ones, you would actually have to remove your large box. But it is doable. Heaters, I just wanted to mention heaters in this setup. So this heater here is the equivalent of a heater. Yeah, that's where the heaters are. That's where the walls are. I'll just explain how the heaters work. There's a heater there, there's a heater there. Heaters work in an oval pattern. Heaters are going to get things here, 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 here. This is this heater, right? This heater here is not going to reach 2 squares in front. It literally only does 1 square in front and 1 square behind. Heaters work in an oval pattern around the heater. So this one, placing one here, does not get a planter box 2 squares in front of it. It will heat you, or it will make you warm, but it will not heat the plants. So, as it going back down here again, this heater does those planters here, and that heater over there does this row of planters over here. Okay. Any questions? Leave them in the comments. I just wanted to say one more thing about sprinklers. While this is the correct way to place them in the center here, if you were to place them over here, just notice as I'm looking at this planter box, the sprinkler is going to push you down. So again, this is why I put them in the center, where you don't actually need to walk. Okay, now, thanks for watching, guys. See you in another video, or the next video. And yeah, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, or whatever you please.